Hi everyone, it's Gail. I am going to work on making a fabric cover today out of a 9 by 12 envelope. I'm going to make the cover for my DT project for Artie Mays, and so I thought I'd just turn on the camera. I'd had a couple people ask me how to do it. So I actually have a couple of ways that I do it. So I'm going to make this one, and then if we have time, I'd like to make another one kind of based on the other method that I use. So first of all, what you need is you pick your cover fabric, which this is my cover. And then what I do is I cut it a bit larger than the envelope. So I'm going to say probably an inch on either end, and I probably got an inch and a half or so on these ends. So there's that. So and then the inner cover, I just make it the size of the envelope, just enough to cover the envelope. And then I also cut a piece of quilt batting that is the size of the envelope. So I think I'm gonna turn the envelope the other way. Sorry, I've got lots of strings happening here. So I'm just gonna put down the batting first on top of that. Then I'm going to put my envelope here, and then I'm going to put, I'll be putting this over the top. But for now, I'll show you how I kind of do this part. And again, you're getting Gail's version, and so keep that in mind. Probably easier, better ways to do it. This just works for me, and so I just share what works for me with you guys. So I have a little tape runner, and I'm just gonna run just a couple of pieces there to just adhere to the batting a little bit, and then what I do is I kind of just go around, and with my Fabri-Tac, I try to not get it super close to where I'm going to sew, but you know, if I do, I do. I don't worry about it. So I just put a little bit of the Fabri-Tac there, and I got it a little too far away. Okay, first faux pas of this tutorial. You guys know you're gonna get it when you watch Gail. Okay, so there. Let's try moving that in. I was trying to get it away from where I would be sewing, but I got it a little too far away. So then I just kind of press that in to hold that, and then I might put a little dab here and there as I go too. Let me make sure I'm in frame for you too while I'm doing this. Am I? Gosh, I can't see unless I stand up. Okay, it looks like I'm well in frame, so I'll just try and stay right here. So then I fold this corner a little bit to make a tidy corner like so. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put a little bit of Fabri-Tac in as I fold over, and then once I get it over like I want it, I'm just going to put some more Fabri-Tac down this way to hold that. And then I'll stick some on this corner, and I just kind of run it down the edge of that fold and fold it in like so. Of course, getting my fingers all full of Fabri-Tac. So once again, you know, I don't go for perfection on this because, you know, it is handmade. It's not, the corners aren't going to be perfectly mitered and all of that kind of thing, you know. That's part of the beauty of handmade, is it's got some human flaws to it, you know. So, but I'll get it down here pretty good. And then I'm just going to tuck this under. Hopefully you can see that. I'm just going to tuck this under. And once again, I'll just add a little Fabri-Tac down that seam a little bit like that. Just enough really to just make it stick long enough for me to get the inside on. I'm just kind of pulling that tight as I can. Okay, and then we'll do the other side exactly the same. So I think I'll give that just a little bit right there. Tack that down. And we'll put some on the edge. Just get that a bit and tuck it over as neatly as possible. I have put metal corners on before when I have not had kind of a good do on getting my corners like I want them. So, you know, once again, there's always a fix for anything that you do. Okay, I'm just gonna give that a little bit. Tuck it in. Tuck it in and pull it kind of as tight as it will go there. And give it some down the crease there. Okay, so then I'm just gonna run some down that middle part. Just make sure that's holding really well. And then I'm gonna put my cap on so it doesn't bubble up on me. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to do a couple runs again of double-sided tape, and I think we'll just pop this down. All this fabric has been coffee dyed, and it turned out to be kind of cool. I think it's going to be fun to do this journal. I'm excited. So, okay. So then I just kind of smooth that down. Now we're going to get the sewing machine over here and make sure I'm kind of in frame, at least mostly in frame. And then we are going to, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to zigzag. I have a weird string. Sorry, it's distracting. I'm going to zigzag around this. And so, since I just put in that bobbin, I think it looks like it's going to be okay. Okay. So, just going to start on one edge and go kind of the width of the foot and sew around it. But, you know what I'm thinking? I'm thinking I'd like to let it dry a little more. So maybe what we'll do is we'll put together the second. Let's do that. Let's put together the second cover, and then that way both have a good, you know, this has a better chance to dry. So I guess we'll just just leave that for a minute. That way it won't goober up my machine so much. Okay, so this is the sort of the second method. Once again, this is going to be my cover. So on this, I kind of wanted to run something down there, like some eyelet trim. So bear with me for a second while I grab that. I was thinking that that would be cute, run down that side. So let's do that first. And then, goodness, scissors don't want to cut. Okay, so I'm going to move this for a minute, and we'll just, because anything that you want sewn on your cover, of course, unless you don't mind the sewing on the inside of the journal cover, then you need to do it before you put it together. So if that makes sense. Okay, so we are just, maybe we'll go this way and that'll be easier. I'm going to move the one that we already did over. And, okay, let's do this. Get this on here, and then we can put this one together and sew it, and then we'll sew the other one. Okay, so I'm just going to use a straight stitch and tie it off a little bit. I'm not even sure what journal this cover is going to be for, but I got this quilted piece of fabric from my friend Diane, and I was like, ooh, that would make such a cool journal cover. So this is one for the future, I guess, because I don't know exactly. I kind of have an idea. Maybe this will be my Artie May's project or something. Okay, so we got the little ruffle on. That is great. I move my machine again. Okay, so we've got the cover piece, right? So then we're gonna and this time the difference between this one and the one that I just did is this piece of cover is exactly the size of the envelope. So we're just gonna layer again, and this guy's a little small. It's not gonna reach completely to the edges, but it was a scrap piece and I wanted to use it up, so it'll work just fine. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is once again get some tape runner and just kind of stick that to the batting. Oops, I want to get down to where the cover is. Okay, that looks pretty good. And I'm going to put a little bit more on here. And it's really just to hold the fabric in position while you're sewing is the only reason for that. And then this is the fabric that I wanted to use for the inside. Okay. And then what we're going to do is just sew around the edge, making sure we're covering the envelope on every side. And then if we have a little extra, we can just trim it off when we get there. Okay, so let's sew this one, and then the other one will be good and dry and we can get it sewn around too. Okay. Okay. What I usually do is I usually start on the back corner, only because if something goes crazy with my machine or whatever, it won't be ruined. I'll be okay. So okay, so I'm just gonna kind of hold that. I'm gonna go with zigzag once again, and off we go. And I'm just keeping a presser foot width on my, and then I'll be able to be, you know, more or less even all the way around. Okay, and now I think we can turn. And my fabric here is a little bit, yeah, I should have pulled that down a little bit, but that's okay. We can fix that. Okay, so here we go down this side. Get kind of thick here where this trim is, but hopefully it won't cause any difficulties. Just making sure that's down where it should be. Running into things back here. Okay, I think maybe one more like that, and we'll turn the corner. Alright, and down we go this way. The reason I use a presser foot width is that way I know that I'm going to miss the metal clasp that's on the envelope, because believe me, if you hit that, you're going to break your needle, because I have done it. I have done it multiple times. But, okay. And then, I'm going to go down this way. Okay, now we're going to have to work our presser foot a little bit because we're going against the way that trim lays. Okay. Now it looks like I've got more than a presser foot width, but that's just because I can feel the envelope in here, and so I'm trying to make sure I am a presser foot away from the envelope. So now we're going to try and stretch that a little. Yeah. We're not totally going to cover that envelope because I didn't have the fabric just perfect, so no worries. We'll just put some trim on it. It'll be fine. Okay. So there we go with that one. And of course my goofy machine came off of Oh, it does it all the time. I don't know. The bobbin thread does not hook well, and what I feel like it is this side over here is not deep enough to hold the thread, and it comes off and then it stitches weird, which I don't really mind the look of it, because you know, it just looks kind of funky and hand done or whatever, but it is aggravating that it comes off all the time. I don't know. So there you go. There, it never goes perfectly, but let me just show you then. Okay, so what I think I'm gonna do then, see, this hides the envelope really well on all these sides. This one we're gonna want to trim off because you can see the batting. So the batting and the inside were just a little bigger than they needed to be, so no big deal. We'll just cut them off. And I'm gonna have to think about what kind of trim to put at the bottom. I think what I want to do is maybe do something that'll wrap around that. But I like the cover. I mean, I think that's going to be super cute, right? Okay, we want to get rid of a little bit of this batting too. Let me just get in there. Cut the batting without cutting the cover is the trick here. Okay, there we go. Yeah, so the top and this side are good. This side I'm not loving as much either, so we might put some trim on there too. I don't know, might go all the way around. I don't know. We'll leave that for either at the end here or another day. But I want to sew that other cover so you can see that, and hopefully my sewing machine is going to not give me grief. Okay, so let's start right back here, and this one is going to be thick on these corners where we've folded it under, but as you can see, I was kind of struggling with the edge of the other one because I'm not loving it totally. The other thing I could do on this one is I could sew closer to the edge, and that would tack it down. Might try that first. I don't know. But anyway, this will be a cleaner edge. So let's get started with this one. And I'm going to try and go slow, because my friend Shanna said she thought that was my problem with my thread coming off of the bobbin like that, was I was trying to go too fast, which, you know, I just like to get it done. So I do probably try to push my machine a little harder than it wants to go. So anyway, we'll just take our time on this one, and hopefully it won't goober up. Now, with that other one having its issues, you know, I could get upset about that. I could be like, oh, it's ruined, it's not going to be good, whatever. But what I have found in the years of doing these journals is that oftentimes when something like that happens, and you have to fix it by, you know, putting on another trim, or however it is you do fix it, sometimes you end up liking that better than you would have had you not done it. So I don't get upset when something doesn't go right. I just figure it's a it's an opportunity for, sorry guys, I'm running into my bucket here, which I have my machine away from the edge of my table just so it will be in camera. So I'm running into things I normally wouldn't be. Anyway, so I hope that kind of gives you some hope and some perspective on, you know, when things don't go exactly right. Maybe it's going to end up cooler than it would have been had it been just perfectly like you wanted it to be. So that's how I look at it anyway. Well, this is going a lot better because I'm not rushing and not trying to go too fast. I just don't want it to be boring for you guys. So hopefully watching the sewing part is somewhat relaxing. I'm excited about this journal though. This is, as I said, it's my Artie Mae's design team project, and what I'm doing is I'm doing her Victorian children and yeah, her Victorian children kit, and I love that kit. I'm kind of thinking the other one that I was going toward, but I'm thinking it might be for that other cover, is Artie Mae's Precious Moments kit, which I love too. And I've had them both printed out for a long time, but Andrea's been coming out with all these gorgeous new kits, and so I've always wanted to try one of those each time. But so I'm gonna be able to get these done, and that'll be fun. The Victorian children one has lots of spring colors to it, so I'm excited about that too, because I'm ready to do springy type journals, because goodness, it's been a long time coming in Montana this year. So, but I think we're getting there. My daffodils are up. There's still lots of snow, but it's mostly just where it either drifted or has piled during the winter, and so I feel like we're making progress. We're gonna get there. It's actually gonna be spring one of these days. No, we're almost there, guys. This is gonna buckle a little bit, but that's why I like to start and finish on the back cover, because if it buckles or anything, I don't want it to be right on the front. It's just a little pleat. That's no big deal. So cut those off. Let's move this sewing machine. And okay, so we've got that on. See how nice that looks? This is my preferred method, actually, is to go around the edges, because look how nice that looks. So I'm excited about this cover because so let's see. So actually it has to go like this so the roses go up, but that's okay. So what I'm gonna do is I was thinking of wrapping a doily around it like Angie did on my Easter Happy Mail, but I found this and I decided I want to wrap this around. I don't want it to be attached. I just want it to wrap around like that, because it'd be kind of bumpy to ride on, but I think that looks so cute. Don't you think that looks cute? So I'll just then tie a ribbon around it. So that's going to be my next design team project. So excited about that. Okay, let's see how we're doing. We're at about a half an hour. Let's think through maybe what we want to do on the edges of this, because I think when I've done it this way before, I've used thicker fabric on the front, like upholstery fabric, and it just covered the edges a little bit better than this is doing. So, I'm just trying to think of what I might want to do. Okay, let me grab something. Okay, you guys, I have a couple different ribbons here that I'm thinking maybe this one, huh? Yeah. Yeah, I think that one. What I'm thinking of doing is just starting and going over the edges, like half there and half there, and just going around the edges. Yeah, I think I'm gonna like that better. I really do. So once I get to there, how am I gonna do that? Okay, so once I get to the corner, sorry, I think I had that on my lap while I was thinking through that. I think I kind of want to go like this, but I feel like it's going to be a little tricky. Let's go for it. What the heck? It's fabric and ribbon, and I always think if it doesn't turn out to where I feel super good about it, then I'll just keep it for myself. Okay. So I think on this, I want to go, with just a straight stitch, not the zigzag, because otherwise it's going to, that way I can go clear to the edge. So the tricky part is going to be keeping it folded around. But we're going to do this. We're going to do this thing. Okay. Let's just go for it and see what happens. Well, it's good and thick, so the sewing machine's going, okay. All right, so that seems like it's happy enough going through it, so I think we're okay. Yeah, I think I'm gonna like that. Yeah, so learn something. If your fabric is not real thick, I think you almost need to have it go over the edge. When you use that upholstery fabric though, it's so thick that doing those corners like I did that other cover isn't going to work well, because it's just going to be too thick, you know, and too bulky on those corners. So okay, now we're going to get to the tricky part on the corner. Let's see let's see how that works. Oh, I don't know. I think I'll go down a little bit more to maybe about there. Okay, so then we want to figure out this corner. And I kind of had that folded, and then that folded under, right? I mean, I think that should work. Yeah. Yeah, I think that'll work just fine. Okay, let's get stitching down there and see how we do. It's awkward trying to get this folded around the cover, but Maybe we don't have to worry about that till we get to the corner. Ew, that came undone on the bottom. Okay, well, let's work it. Let's see what we can do. I'm gonna get caught on the feet. That's why I always try and have, when I stop sewing, have my needle down, because otherwise I would have completely lost this. Okay, so I'm going to go all the way down and back up then to where I want to turn and go. Okay, we'll see how this looks once we get done. I think it's going to be okay though, you guys. I think it's going to be actually kind of cute. I appreciate all your comments about when I'm struggling to make something work, that you appreciate seeing that, because for sure things don't always go perfectly as planned, you know, but there's always a fix or something you can try. But I appreciate that you don't think I need to be perfect when I do these tutorials, that I can just show you, and if it doesn't go as planned, then we kind of figure it out together. Okay. Hopefully, what I'm worried about at this point is that I'm catching the underside as I'm sewing. I'm hoping that I am. So, get into another corner. Yikes. Oh, let's see. Okay. Okay. So, kind of went like that. And like that. And under, hopefully under. Okay, now my plan is if these corners aren't as good as they should be, I might do a fabric collage on the corner and hang a pin off or something. But I think it's gonna be okay. Okay. So let's sew through that. See that? We had more success the second time. Okay, so we'll just pop this down and fold it under. Okay, I'm actually going to sew down a couple stitches because I was way too close to the edge there. Okay. Okay, here we go. To the edge again. Makes me nervous. Am I catching the underside? But okay. And we'll fold it under again. Was a little too wide. Okay. Okay, turn, and yikes, fold it under again. I like how this is turning out, you guys. I think it's gonna be good. But I feel like I don't have as much under there. I'm gonna go down a little bit like that. Okay. Okay. Not exactly I think I'm just going to cut this off and go around that way. I think that'll be fine on this. Okay, thinking about this last corner coming up. But again, it's on the back, and so that's kind of why I start that way. Keep running into my stuff on my desk. I'm not used to having the sewing machine in the position that it's in. It's a little bit away from me, away from the edge. Okay, so maybe I'll just sew it and then I'll cut it off afterwards. And back stitch. Okay, guys, we did it. Let's see what we've got. Let's see. Well, I love it. See what I mean? Sometimes when something goes wrong, it's like, that's okay. Sometimes it just makes you figure out something that you're going to like even better. Look at how stinking cute that is with those two fabrics. I love it. And now it's all nice and finished and looks great. So this is what this one will look like when it's made into a journal. I absolutely love it. So there you go. That's how I make my fabric covers. That's how I correct in something that goes wrong. And I hope you enjoyed the tutorials. So now I have 2 covers made, all because you helped me. Thanks everybody for watching. We'll see you next time. Bye bye.